Hi runners. I just wanted to bring you into my closet because I get the question so many times about what to wear when you're running. And with all the different temperatures and humidity and so forth, and precipitation, this is an important question. It really can make a difference in your training, for how long you can be out there, how you feel out there, and your overall enjoyment. So I thought I'll bring you to my closet and show you some of my favorite items that I use and what temperatures I use them at. All right, so let's start at 40 degrees. That's a temperature where you start to get a little unsure because you're out of shorts, but what do you wear? So I put on a capris. And I love these Nike capris, just because they are 92% polyester, 8% spandex. And getting that ratio right is really important. When you're looking online or in the stores, that's like what I'm checking all the time, because I need just enough stretch that I can have movement, that I can move my legs easily, but then I also don't want too much stretch too. So I don't want it to be baggy. So I want it to hold well. And you know, if it has a pocket, a zipper pocket in the back, that is especially helpful for the keys and so forth. So, or other things that you're needing to bring along. So I would start with this at 40 degrees. And then I would have on a tank top. So let's get my tank top. So this is one of my tank tops, just a simple one. There's a lot of other kinds too, but I like them to be really breathable. So I'd have a tank top on, and then I'd have a long sleeve shirt on. And my long sleeve shirts, you want them to be wicking. You want them to be able to, you don't want cotton. So just let the cotton be for the nice clothes up here that you wear around and look all cute in and stuff. But the shirts that you're running in really need to be more of a wicking, so it's probably going to have a higher amount of polyester in it. So I'd have a tank top and a long sleeve shirt, because then I can pull that long sleeve shirt off and tie it around my waist really easily, and it's not heavy and doesn't bother me. So that'll help me out a lot. Then when I get down to 30 degrees, I'm probably putting on some full length tights like these ones. And I'm going to have on probably 2 long sleeve shirts. So I might pick one of like my like smaller long sleeve shirts to put underneath, and then put another long sleeve shirt on top of that. I could put, you know, I could do a short sleeve shirt and a long sleeve, just depending on how accustomed to the temperature I am. And that makes me think, I really want to make a note here that you need to look at what the feel like temperature is for right then, because the temperature was yesterday is not the temperature it's probably going to be today. And the temperature it is without wind versus with wind, or with precipitation or not, or with sun or not, all those things really come into effect. So think about, you know, what time you're running. Are you running when the sun's just coming up, or has the sun been up for several hours and warmed the atmosphere more? So just put all of that into play, and layers, layers, layers for this time of year, because you got to be able to shed, but don't wear your winter coats. It's just way too warm. So one way to think about it is that it's, once you're running, you'll feel like it's 20 degrees warmer. So if it's 40 degrees outside, when it's 40 and 10 minutes into it, you're going to feel like it's 60. So what would you want to have on if you went for a walk in 60-degree weather? That's what you're kind of thinking about. Another thing to be careful for is that you are picking clothing that will still let you have movement and not be too tight. So in the summertime, you want loose clothing so that you can have more convection happening, where the heat is being pulled off of your skin. But in the winter, you want the clothing to be a little tighter to hold in the heat, but you don't want it so tight that you can't move your body well. So just when you're picking out tops, make sure that your arms can really move well. And that brings me to one brand I do like for arm movement is called Second Skin. I just found it at Dick's last Christmas time for skiing, and I've just loved it because it just moves really well. So anyways, I would wear this probably when it was about 20 degrees. I would start getting my thermal clothes out. 20 and below, I'm going to have thermal on. And then if I'm at 15 to 20 and not really sunny, I'm probably going to have 2 thermals on. And they're just like a good thick shirt, like a good long sleeve type of thing. So I also would probably put on 2 pairs of pants when I got down to about 10 degrees, 10 to 15 degrees. I'm going to have 2 pairs of my long pants. In running, you don't really like the pants to be too wide so that you don't catch with your foot. So running tights are really helpful. So to have 2 of those tights on can work when you're down into like 10, 5 degrees. Now, if it goes under 0, I'm probably not running, mainly because of just like breathing in the cold air, unless I really wanted to. Another thing I would really like to bring up is if it is really a lot colder than you're used to, and it's getting under 20 degrees, start to cut down the amount of time that you're outdoors. Your body's doing a lot of work in order to, warm itself and warm the air that's coming in. So just if I was plan like a 6-mile run and it's 10 degrees outside, I would probably go 4 miles and be like, my body worked pretty hard for that. All right, some more ideas on what I'd wear. I would probably have on a vest type of clothing if it is, let's see, I might put this on at 30 if I wanted extra pocket space or something, and 20, I could have this on too. At 20 to 30 degrees, I could put a vest on. Then if it is windy, I'm probably going to put on more of a windbreaker. Now, I got this windbreaker at iLocal in Saratoga Springs on clearance with a gift card, and it has returned it back for me over and over. And there's a difference between a running windbreaker and a walking windbreaker. A running windbreaker is going to still allow there to be some heat movement, so you don't just like hold in all of this moisture of the sweat and the heat, hold in too much of it. So you need to look for something that truly is made for a runner. It might be a little more than you're used to spending on a jacket, but I've probably worn this jacket like 300 or 400 times, like so many. The zipper now is tired. The jacket is done really well. So throw on a jacket like this over, probably when I got my thermal clothing on, I'm going to throw this type of jacket on, okay? Just to give me my 3rd layer probably on my upper layer. And I also have one more jacket that's a little bit thicker. It's got some good area here, that some movement, some stretch to it. But I'm probably going to wear a jacket like this when it's, again, going like 10 degrees, 5 degrees. I'm going to have on something that's just a little more sturdier than a wind jacket type of thing. Okay? And then let's talk about our head. So one of my favorites, and I've had this hat forever, and my daughter actually just found a hat too that has a little hole for my ponytail, which is really, really comfortable. So this is a good thick hat, and I'll wear this at 30 degrees and below. I mean, at Thanksgiving, just a few days ago, I wore it for the race. It's because I was being kind of soft, and I really didn't need it on. There weren't that many people that had this thick of a hat on, but probably 20 degrees and lower, I'm going to have a thick hat on. So when it's not quite as warm or not quite as cold and I still want something around my ears, I'm just going to wear a band that's going to go around my ears. And this is a little thicker one. And then I have a thinner one too that just kind of gives a little bit of warmth on the ears, and I can put it up over if it's warming more. And then also great about these bands is you can take them off and just put them around your arm when you're running. Now onto gloves. I have really warm hands when I run, and there are people that don't as much, and so they will get more of a specialty running glove that is thicker but not heavy feeling, okay? So that is important for if your hands just get cold really easily, but fortunately mine don't. So I just use dollar gloves, and that's because they're cheap. Sometimes they're $3 at Target, and sometimes you can find them for $1 like other random places. But what I like about these gloves too is that once I'm warmed up and feeling good or whatever, I can just like slip them in my arm sleeve like this and then just run with them right there, and they don't usually fall out. So that's really helpful about gloves. Just stick them in your arm sleeve. Now on to next. I like to wear sunglasses because my eyes are just really easily sensitive to wind and cold, and they will water easily. So I often will run with my sunglasses on, even if it's a cloudy day. You could see me wearing my sunglasses just for that reason. And I also want to throw out a good cap that's for rainy weather is really helpful. And it's basically just to get that rain from falling right on your face and just kind of get it out in front of you. Sometimes I'll have a visor during the summertime more so that the heat can exit my head a little better, but I can wear this. And let's go on to, one other thing that I've loved from learning how to ski is they have this thing called a buff. And it's just a tube. It's just a long black tube, you know. They're not very expensive. I don't know, like $15, $18. This one, well, this is like the really nice one because it's like softy inside. But this just goes like right over the neck, and it'll go around your neck and just kind of branch between my coat and my chin. And I really like just having that sometimes when it's extra cold. So this would probably be on 15 degrees and lower, maybe. Because remember, if it's 20 degrees out and in 10 minutes, your body is going to create enough or burn up enough energy that it's going to create up enough heat that you're going to feel like it's 20 degrees warmer. So at 20 degrees actual outside, it's like I'm out with the 40 degrees. So, but remember there's wind. So when there's wind, what you want to do is you want to start running into the wind and come back with the wind at your back, return back home that way. It will just definitely help with, you built up some sweat, and if you've got wind hitting the sweat, it just freezes you instantly. And that brings up another thing. So take your clothes off, have extra set of clothes, but take them off as soon as you can when you get home, or to the locker room at your gym or whatever. Like, get your wet stuff off, get another set of clothing on, because I bet you will stretch better, get more strengthening in, and refuel yourself sooner if you have some dry clothes on. So it's not hard to do just one extra set of just extra t-shirt, shorts, pants, or whatever to have with you. All right, so let's go on to her feet. So for shoes, I wear like the same shoes for winter running. Some people like to have ones that are a little more tread, so you could use more of a trail shoe if you wanted a little bit more tread, or they'll use those yak track things on the bottom of my feet. I think that I got used to enough running in the ice in college in Minnesota, so I am okay with running on ice to a point. Actually, I don't really like running ice, but I'm used to running on snow. If there's ice, that's when I say, hey, this may not be a great idea to go outside. Might be better to be on the treadmill. But anyways, so I wear my normal shoes. My feet don't tend to get too cold. Some people like to wear more of a wool sock. I would really suggest you go with a a running engineered, a running made, or for runners wool sock, because blisters are not any fun. Oh, and blisters. That's a whole other thing. I'll tell you about that. I'll write a blog post about how to take care of blisters. And so I wanted to tell you what socks I use because I love my socks. And I went searching, like a couple years ago, I went searching for the best running socks because I was tired of like my feet getting sores and my feet moving in my shoes too much, and it just wasn't right. And so I searched and searched and searched, and I found these, and they're called Feetures. I'm gonna make sure you can see. Might be backwards, but it's Feetures, and the cost is like $15 a sock. But let me tell you, once you start wearing the socks, it'll be so worth the $15 a sock. I have many of these socks, and it's just because I've added them up, and they have right and left. They're labeled, and it totally makes a difference. And I do not have feet sores now, and it really changed. So put this on your Christmas list for something that you want someone to give you, is some Feature socks. Make sure you got the right size. They have different sizes, so that's helpful. All right. Well, I think I've about covered everything. I would really want to know your questions still. So if you are like, but you didn't say this, or you didn't talk about that, or what about this situation, just leave comments wherever I post this. And happy running. Bye.